Hey guys, Pete from Remote Coaching here, and today we're going to talk about hand care. So let's have a look at my hands. As you can see, doing a lot of barbell work does cause calluses on your hands. In the event they get torn and actually tear up normal skin, it'll be excruciatingly painful, and that can also actually stop you from actually being able to even hold a barbell or any other thing. As a weightlifter, I need to look after my hands all the time. And this also applies though if you're using a really sharp nail bar as a power lifter for a lot of deadlifts, even if you're a general gym goer and you find that your hands are starting to get chewed up from training. So I'm going to run you through what I do. It goes without saying, but make sure your hands are actually clean. So the first thing you should do is actually wash your hands before you do any sort of hand care routine. On that note, if you use a lot of chalk like I do when you're doing snatches and cleans, and even squats for that matter, as soon as you can, you want to wash that chalk off with soapy water. I basically do three things. Firstly, I get something like this. This is called a wad rod. Basically, it's a fine grade sandpaper, and I sand down any raised skin on my hands. Got to be careful with sandpaper that you don't go too far down and then start sort of grinding or sanding away at fresh skin. That will really hurt. Pretty easy to use, takes a little bit of time. You don't need a cool rod, you can just get sandpaper and a block. You can get fine grade sandpaper. This I think is about P100 sandpaper, something along those lines to sand your hands down. Next, which is more aggressive and a lot faster, is to shave the actual calluses. You can buy a callus shaver. This is one I got from the Wad Life for about 15 bucks. Comes with these sort of small razor blades that sit inside. And you're effectively going to shave away the dead skin on your hand. This can be pretty intimidating the first time, even the first few times you do this. You got to be really careful that you don't cut so deep that you start bleeding. You'll know that pretty quickly. But I used to use sandpaper more often. I've come around to using the callus shaver now as my sort of preferred way to reducing any of those calluses and raised skin on my hand. So what I'll normally do is I'll shave down the sort of big parts that I can, and once I've got it down a bit, I'll then switch to the sandpaper to finish off. Take your time doing this, don't rush, and don't get too cocky once you do get a feel for it. To finish off, that's when I actually bust out the sandpaper on my wad rod, and that'll make sure there's no rough edges that can catch and tear. That'll smooth off the sort of sharp edges between where the razors shave the skin and my hand. The last thing I do is actually moisturize. So whatever floats your boat. Got this Wad Welder moisturizer, which is made from beeswax. I'll just rub that in to my hands, especially the areas that I've shaved and sanded. And I'll leave that on. That's gonna make my hands a lot nicer than what they were before, which is all rough and messed up from the bottom. How often do I do this? As often as I need to. At one point I was doing some work on my hands every day. I'm at a point now where maybe once a week I'll just check and have a look. If my training volume goes up significantly, or for whatever other reason I find that my hands are out of shape, I'll make a concerted effort as I need to, just to give them a bit of a sand, a bit of a shave, and then I'll pay more attention and moisturize more frequently. Normally do this kind of routine later at night, just before I go to bed. That way I've given my hands a maximum amount of time to recover. Anyway guys, something really useful you can do. If you fuck your hands, you can't clean, you can't snatch, you can't deadlift. Fuck, I'd struggle to squat with ripped up hands. Look after your hands, it's how you hold the barbell.